Hey, Kashima, how's it going?
Good. I'm good. How are you?
I'm good too, thank you. Kashima and I are here to talk about the real estate market, and what's going on in her neck of the woods and in my neck of the woods. And hopefully, our insights will help those of you in the general public that are watching this. Hopefully, it will help you guys navigate the market, let you know that you should be contacting a realtor and as well a mortgage broker. So let's continue. Let's start, I should say. My name is Charlene Williams. I am a real estate broker with Real Estate Homeward. I've been with them for 4 years now. I've been a broker for the last 15 years, and I am excited to talk to Kashima Williams. We share the same last name, but we are not
Not related.
related. Go and introduce yourself,
It is
Kashima.
a popular last name. My name is Kashima Williams, and I have been in real estate for about 6 years. I'm also with Real Estate Homeward, and I recently joined last year. And yeah, I have been in real estate first behind the desk, now in front of the desk, kind of navigating the different aspects of this real estate journey and game overall.
Okay, thanks, Cash. So moving on, what I want to talk about is what's going on in like your marketplace. What are you seeing happening and what am I seeing happening? So in my marketplace, because I'm GTA wide, but I mostly am in the East End, let's say, and I know that you do some work in the West End. But
Mhm,
lately, what I have seen is in places like Scarborough, there are a lot of homes on the market. I was actually just looking at the MLS, and it's like 35 detached homes in Scarborough proper that are up on the market for sale, which is a lot. Basically, what people need to do is reach out to their realtor. If you are in the market looking for a home, there's something out there for you. You just have to get in touch with your realtor and they can, make arrangements to take you around to see these homes. Again, there's a lot out there, and we know that the Bank of Canada has put a rate hold on for this month, and it is
mhm.
going to until at least until March 6th. So that's a good thing. There should be room, get pre-approved, and just get out there. What are you noticing in your marketplace, Cash?
So yeah, seeing homes on for sale is definitely not in a short. We definitely see a lot of homes on sale. What we're seeing is they're staying on the market for quite some time, which is very interesting, because in one market, we were calling for so much more inventory. Now that there's inventory because of this interest rate and the cost of borrowing, we're seeing it sit on the market, and a lot of buyers actually turn to tenants. And that world is not any different or any less competitive, I should say, is what I'm seeing over here on the west side. We are seeing properties move, however, it takes longer to move, and they're not selling, depending on how they are priced, they're not selling for full listing price. That's what I see on my end.
Right, full listing price or even over list
Yeah.
price. However, I'm gonna say that that is a local phenomenon, meaning that in different segments of the market, so in different locations, Leslieville, for example, I just had someone call me about a home in the annex, and it was one day on the market. Um, it was like a gut job. It needed work. It was listed properly. As far as I'm concerned, the list price was proper, a semi, and no parking whatsoever. And by the time I had made arrangements to view the home the next day, they had already had an offer on it that fell through. And on my way to my showing, there was another offer that they were reviewing. And by the
Mhm.
time I got home to make an offer, there was the agent called me. He's got three people asking about it. So it was, and they were in sign back. It's that
Mm.
quick in, like I said, the area of the annex. Another property I showed was 2 days on the market. We're putting in an offer. We're one of three offers. It's just a little bit, I mean, that was in Leaside, Davisville Village area, and those areas are going for over asking, and they're still having multiple offers. So if you're not, I'm just gonna say, if you're not married to those areas, then let's try to stay away from that. There's lots of properties out there on the outskirts, Scarborough, like I said, Pickering, Ajax, all of those places have homes that are not typically in multiple offers if they're priced right.
Yeah, if they're priced right, it definitely, and then also the type of home that's more having more traction to, like everybody wants a detached home
Yeah.
where there's nobody beside them. However, we're seeing more movement on semi-detached and townhouses because they are a little bit more affordable than the detaches that are currently priced on the market. I find like in November especially, there was an increase in sales per semi-detached and a decrease in detaches because the gap in pricing. And I feel like when we're looking as buyers, even going through the experience myself, like having a list of what's wants and needs and really fine tuning of where you're willing to compromise in this city, especially if you're trying to live in the GTA,
Mhm.
you really have to take account because it's not going to be, if depending on what stage in life you are in, your first home, second home, we're all feeling it financially because the cost of borrowing one, and then our desires and our wants, they need to more align with our pocket and the realistic aspect of finance, which I find a lot of deals are falling through because it's not aligning financially what we have and what we want.
Mhm.
It's not aligning with what we can actually do in this market.
Right. You're absolutely right about that. Also, you mentioned about buyers turning into, oh, well, we can't, we're just not seeing what we want, the interest rates, blah, 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 and let's just go and rent. Let's just
Mhm.
go and rent. And in some cases, the amount of rent that you're paying is far more, I said in some cases, is far
Mhm.
more than if you were to purchase with that down payment and even with the interest rates being what they are, right?
Yeah, definitely. I also see like I feel like people think, okay, if they lease, it's going to be easier. And depending on who you are, where you come from, and your actual financial history, because that also plays a huge role
Yeah.
in the leasing market, it's going to be easy or it's going to be extremely hard.
Mhm.
And I find like with doing leases, they look more in depth with your credit history. They're least forgiving, like it depends.
Mhm.
As a landlord, like sometimes you'll see credit scores that are really low, however, they're paying their minimums and they're paying everything on time. It's just their utilization is really high. So for me, I look at that the whole picture where some landlords they won't look at that. They just see a low score and then automatically you're not a triple A tenant and you're gonna have to put more work or there's more work required, a higher deposit. And they can't necessarily say that, but it's gonna be expected, especially when competing, because there is not many options out there.
Right, right. A higher deposit, something like showing your bank statements, that sort of thing.
Your
I'm not allowed
T4,
to
yeah.
ask for, but it depends. Do you want a place to live? If you want a
Yeah.
place to live, you're going to offer those things. So,
Yes, and definitely. And I'm having more conversations with those that are looking to rent but have desires to want to buy, because the if you're struggling to even get into a lease, then that's a wake-up call, because they're going to look at the same things to get a loan for you to get a home. And
right.
it's like, we one without the other, it's all the same steps essentially, and
Mhm.
it's really hard. Like, my I put out a newsletter a few months ago talking about cutting back on expenses, and like now I'm sharing my subscriptions with like my sisters, like whether it's Netflix, Prime, certain things, because I'm trying to cut back and save and tackle any negative financial pull on my credits. I'm
Right.
trying to mitigate that. I'm trying to make it as small as possible, because eventually I would like to purchase another property, or I like to maybe sell my property and get another property. Like, but in order to do that, or if I decide to rent somewhere and rent out my place, and in order to do any moves in real estate, I really have to get comfortable with my finances. And I think that's something that everybody overlooks and doesn't realize the importance, and it's needed in any aspect: buying, selling, leasing, anything you do. You really have
Right.
to get acquainted with that.
Right. So it's time to kind of look within and decide what you can do without,
Yeah.
right? Maybe not buy those designer jeans. Is that what they call them these days? Designer
Yeah.
jeans? I don't
Yeah, designer
know.
jeans, designer bags.
Designer bags, yes, for those of us that love designer bags.
I'm gonna be honest, I cut back on doing my eyelashes and doing my nails. And yes, it's something that I like to do for myself. However, I'm looking at the long goal and
Yeah,
where I want to be, and these are things that I have to do.
yes.
And it sucks, but hey, you'll be creative. Like, my friend does press on nails and they actually look good. I don't have time for that. But you have to get creative with your finances if you want to lease, if you want to rent, buy or sell. You have to really get creative if this is a goal, because the cost of borrowing is not going to be this high forever.
No, it's not. And that's the thing. Hopefully by June, it will start to go down. I'm predicting a 0.75 drop by the end of the year. I'm predicting, and I don't have a crystal ball. I am not a mortgage broker or anything like that. I have no idea what is going to happen. I can't read the Bank of Canada's mind, right? So
Yeah,
I guess it's more of a hope than than
yeah.
fiction, right? So don't
Yes.
come at me if I'm wrong about that. But I
No
think
worries.
by
Like,
the end of next year, like mid 2025, we're going to see 1.25 below what we're talking about now. So will it ever go back down to 2%?
I
Absolutely
doubt
not.
it.
But
I
I think it will go down at least 1.25% by this time next year.
Yeah, like, let's be realistic. I've taken out the expectation out of this real estate market of like how things are going, because the pandemic came out of nowhere and it really shook up everything. Like, nobody could
Mhm.
predict it, and nobody's to say to predict what's gonna happen, because life, that's the I guess the beauty that they say in life. It's just gonna happen. However, regardless, in any market, the steps are always the same.
Mhm.
And you have to be pivotal in each market. And it's in this market, that means saving and not doing things that you would have the luxury of doing,
Yeah.
because you're looking at the long goal. And I've have clients that have to either renew or sell, and they can't wait till June. They're hoping by March they see a change, For me, I don't know if that change will come as soon as March. I highly doubt it, only because the cost of borrowing and inflation, and people are still spending money.
Yeah.
We're still
Yeah.
spending money, and it's not even money we have, it's more credit, more consumer
Yes.
debt. And that plays a role into this holding the rate, the high interest rates, and
And,
every
and and eventually how much you can afford. You're absolutely right. If you're using your credit card to pay your debts, that means you're driving up your credit. That means you're lowering your credit score. I don't know. You and I have had this discussion over and over again. Maybe not go to the club one weekend for
yeah,
a little while and save some money. Then you won't have to buy anything new either, because that's what they call a trickle down effect, right?
yeah.
Anyways, that is just my thoughts, and I guess those are your thoughts as well, since you are cutting back, right?
Yeah, I mean, and you know what? Like I am a half full cup kind of girl, right? You just have to roll with the punches and just survive.
Right.
And for me, it's like I don't eat out anymore. Or as much. I more cook, or I'll cook before I go out to eat with any of my friends, and I will already be full, and I'm just having something to like nibble on because when
Yes.
I work in the restaurant industry as well, so I just feel more comfortable making my own food, and I'm just like I'm taking it as a way to better myself, like,
Right.
and I really do want to be able to make another move in real estate and continue making moves. And I know, like, trust me, everybody's out there 2023. I think if we take away Instagram and we were really to talk on how we are all surviving, we'll realize we are all in this together and we are all going through that struggle or that pivotal moment to get to the next step, that it'll feel like there's less pressure on us having to have to show up for a party, having to have to go out, having to do all these things. It's really a mindset and a routine and discipline. But
Yeah.
are we disciplined enough to do it? Because it's not for the weak. It's
Yeah.
not.
Absolutely not. Absolutely not. And on that note, what are we thinking? Cut it off and we'll see you again next time?
I mean, yes, because this is always a conversation, and
Exactly.
more so if there's people there that have specific questions in regards to the economy, where it's going, and how they can position themselves in a better situation. This is a perfect opportunity to reach out to us because it's a question we can either answer again doing this, or it's a question we can answer and meet up with you or connect with you one-on-one to better, because real estate is not cookie cutter.
No,
So
it's
what's for
not.
me is not for Shar, what's for Shar is not for me.
Right.
So
Yeah.
it's more so having those conversations, and don't be shy. But I know within certain communities, talking about finances, talking about these things, it takes some time. So let this be the first step.
Yes. Great way to put it. Great way to sign off and segue. Thank you very much, Cash.
My pleasure, Shar. My pleasure. I look forward to doing this again. And shout out to those watching.
Yeah, absolutely. Our contact information will be below, so you can contact me or Cash or both of us. And if you have questions, that's always great too. We'll endeavor to answer them.
All right. Bye,
All
guys.
right. Peace.